In this video, we're talking about developing a long-term plan to creating the best version of yourself. I'm going to lay out a personal development plan that's going to show you what to do on a daily basis and the 12 points of focus that you can use to create this lifestyle that you can stick to. So many times when we read personal development books or things that are supposed to change our life, the feelings are fleeting. The emotion and the motivation comes and goes, and we end up doing what most self-help gurus want you to do: buy more products. There's not enough emphasis on actually applying what you learn. It's all about build more knowledge, consume more content, use what you know, and craft your life. Now, before we get going, if you want to learn more about a high-performance mindset and lifestyle development, go ahead and click that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you can get notifications as soon as I release a new video. One of the biggest issues when it comes to personal development and creating a better version of yourself is people tend to fall short because they always seem to fall off track. It's completely normal that we all go through these different seasons in life where we have tremendous momentum and keep pushing forward, but then sometimes we just get stalled out. The problem is when we experience these low points in life, we get derailed to a point where we have to completely start over. We feel like we're starting from scratch. When we get to that point, sometimes we don't even know what direction to take anymore. Now, in this personal development plan, what we need is a consistent framework to follow, something that we can fall back on through both good and bad times. We need a plan that's going to help us on the day-to-day, but also the big picture. How do we sustain growth for the long term, no matter if things slow down or we're moving rapidly? Now, when I'm referring to this personal development plan, I'm going to refer to it as the path. And there's two pieces to the path: the daily work and the pillars. The daily work is more of the micro of the path. It's the lifestyle design. It's the stuff you do on a daily basis to keep you on track. But the second part of the path is the pillars. This is the long-term part of the path. Think of this as this framework to build you into the best version of yourself. I've got 12 pillars and each one focuses on a different characteristic. Let's start with the daily work, the day-to-day when it comes to the path. Remember, the daily work is something that you do on a daily basis. Step one is building your lifestyle. Now, this specific part of the daily work in building your lifestyle, this isn't something that you do necessarily on a daily basis, but it's something that you revisit weekly or monthly. It's normal to go through changes, and some things that seemed important to us at one time all of a sudden don't feel as important anymore. It's okay to leave some goals behind and start working to what's important to you now. This is when you put the pen to the paper and you start listing out the things that you want to become, the life that you want to live, the person that you want to become. Start laying these things out. How often do you implement exercise? What types of foods do you eat? What are the standards that you're going to set for yourself? What do you expect of yourself, and what do you expect from others around you? Here we're starting to develop the mentality to put in the extra time. We start to realize that this person that we want to become, it's going to take some work. Think of this as the brainstorming session. What types of habits do you implement? What types of books do you read? What specific skills do you need to acquire this lifestyle you want? We're trying to lay out exactly who we want to become and where we want to go. The reason is just because you want to make sure you're still in alignment with what you want to do. Now, we have the picture. We have this image of this lifestyle that we want to create. Now is where we start to implement the tactics to the daily work. The next step in the daily work is to design a mental routine. Here, we're taking the desired lifestyle that we created and we're applying it to the conscious and subconscious mind. We're going to start associating feelings and emotions with what we want. You want to go through this process each and every day, and ideally in this order. For your daily mental routine, we're going to start with visualization. We're going to follow it up with scripting, then we'll manifest, and finally show gratitude. Now, I've made a video on how to visualize and different techniques that you can use, so I'll link that in the description, or you can see it right up here. But the first step in acquiring this lifestyle that you've laid out on paper is to start to visualize yourself in it. Start to see yourself living on these terms that you've laid out. Next is scripting. Scripting is another way to reinforce your visualization by putting your thoughts onto paper. When you script, I want you to write it out as if you're already living this life. Essentially, you're journaling about this lifestyle that you want to create. The key is to start tying emotions and feelings to acquiring this lifestyle that you want to create. Scripting helps you detail this life in a way that sometimes you can't articulate just through visualization. Sometimes when we visualize, we might skip important details. So scripting helps us fill in some of those details, and when we go back to visualization the next day, we can continue adding to our visualization. Now, the third point in the daily mental routine is to manifest. Now, the term manifest gets this odd perception from the public, but the thing is, anybody who is successful manifests. It's the process of aligning your current lifestyle to fit this desired lifestyle that you want. You align your habits, your routines, and your daily experiences to develop this lifestyle and become this person. And the final part of the daily mental routine is gratitude. You want to look at this lifestyle that you want, the one that you put on paper, as something that's attainable. After all, if you don't really believe that you can achieve this lifestyle, there's no way that it's going to happen. We want to give thanks to what we have, where we are, the mind we've been given, and the opportunities that have been placed in front of us. The ability to create this life that we've set on paper. There's so much to give gratitude for, even when you haven't yet achieved that final goal. This is where so many people mess up. They start to get so fixated on the point that they haven't reached their goal, so they develop this mindset of, why should I be thankful that I'm not there yet? Instead, look at it as you have the opportunity to change now. You've been granted the ideas and the desire to change. Yeah, things are going to get rough and you're not going to want to show thanks for anything. But this is where real wisdom comes in. Here is where you display resilience, where you see that these low points in life come and go just like the good times do. Believe me, when I was younger, I never thought that I was getting anything out of tough times. I would always ask the question, why is this happening to me? This sucks. But you start to give thanks towards the tough times because they mold you into this person. They give you these new ideas to become better. Then when you experience higher points in life, it allows you to thrive that much more. Now that we've talked about the daily mental routine, it's time to talk about the third element in the daily work, elimination. One of the major reasons where we end up in either a good place or a bad place in life is simply based on our environment. And most times, this is an environment that we created. Whether you believe it or not, you are in control of your environment. I'm talking about the people you associate with, the habits you have, the foods you consume, the content you consume, the energy that you have inside of you and around you. One of the hardest parts in the entire path is eliminating these things that do not serve you. This means getting rid of those things that are holding you back. This is part of the daily work because every day we're going to experience something different. We're going to experience a situation where a person or an environment that we're in is going to display negativity. That's when you have to decide, is this a one-time occurrence for this person or this environment, or is this a frequent thing that keeps coming up? And I need to decide, do I need to eliminate this from my life? And is it holding me back? We're trying to raise awareness here on what's going on around us. And finally, the fourth element in the daily work is decompression. A key strategy for keeping your mind sharp, your energy high, your mind focused is to schedule regular decompression. It's just like exercise. When we experience high intensity day after day after day, our body starts to get beat down. We need to take a day or so off so we can recover, then we come back stronger. It all comes down to continuing to build momentum and move forward. We're looking to avoid burnout. We have to create some sort of structure. When it comes to decompression, there's a ton of different things you can do. Ideally, something in the form of a massage, solitude, or a hike in your favorite spot. In some cases, watching your favorite movie or your favorite show is also a good idea. But here's where you need to pay close attention if you do that. What you want to avoid is falling into this trap of binging. Yeah, watching 1 or 2 episodes of your favorite show or watching a movie is completely fine. But we don't want to fall into this 3, 4, 5 hour binge of watching show after show. This is going to set you back. It's going to put you in a bad mood because you wasted all this time, resulting in negative emotions toward yourself. The other key that you want to pay attention to is the content in these shows and movies that you're consuming. Something that makes you laugh, makes you feel good, gets you excited, or something that makes you think is a great place to start. The things that are going to alter your thought process and put you in more of a negative state are things that revolve around gossip or very negative forms of media. As far as how often and what is your time frame for decompression, on a daily basis, maybe 15 to 60 minutes. Keep in mind, some days you might not need decompression. You might be experiencing a ton of momentum and you want to keep working. That's fine, but realize at some point you're going to slow down. And you have to be okay with realizing that decompression is all right. Before we go on, realize that the path is hard. This personal development plan is not easy. Becoming a better version of yourself isn't just flicking a switch. It requires consistent, hard, and sometimes demanding work on yourself. Now that we've established what the daily work is and how it fits into the path, I want to explain how to implement it. The daily work starts with a routine. Carving out time specific to the daily work is going to help you structure your day, and it's going to help you think more clearly throughout the day. This may be different for others, but I'm big on scheduling this routine as first thing in the morning. By starting your day and raising your vibration, you can start to use this momentum to carry on throughout other parts of your day. Yeah, this involves waking up early, but to get to this new level of who you want to become and this lifestyle that you want, you're going to have to do some things that you haven't been doing. That's when we really hit next level. By scheduling this in the morning, it helps you create a regular assessment on what your environment looks like. Now that we've completely explained the daily work, one of the two elements of the path, I want to explain the pillars. Think of the pillars as the framework to the entire path. It helps you create the most well-rounded version of yourself. Now, instead of going into detail of how to achieve growth in each pillar, I want to encourage you to look at each pillar and see where you struggle in. Ask yourself, which one of these do I fall short on? Now, the 12 pillars of personal development are as follows. First, we have habits, reliability, confidence, leadership, focus and time management, self-awareness, mentality, purpose, growth and consistent challenge, vibrancy and environment, selflessness and selfishness, and resiliency. Now let's briefly walk through each of these so we can determine where do we fall short and what we need to focus on first. Habits, pretty self-explanatory. These habits that you have right now in your current lifestyle, do they align with who you want to be? This lifestyle that you want, that you wrote down in the daily work, do you have the habits right now that support it? If not, what do you need to do? Here we start to evaluate the habits that this person has in this lifestyle. The next pillar, reliability. This pillar not only refers to reliability in yourself, but also to other people. Are you accountable? Do you follow through? Are you a good listener? Are you consistent at what you say you're going to do? The third pillar is confidence. Here we're talking about things like self-belief, body language, looking others in the eye when you speak to them. The fourth pillar is leadership. Look at yourself from an outside view. Do you influence others to do the right thing? Are you a role model? Do you teach and share your knowledge to help others? Do you make wise decisions? Are you quick and decisive when it comes to your decisions? Are you able to make tough decisions? Are you easy to get along with, approachable, and a great listener? And finally, do you manage your stress well? The fifth pillar is focus and time management. Another way that you can look at this is organization. Are you one of those people that acts like you can multitask with all these different things, but really you don't get much done? Time flies by and very little progress has been made. Do you get distracted easily when you're trying to focus? Or do you know how to zone in on exactly what you want and commit everything to it? The sixth pillar in personal development is self-awareness. For self-awareness, we're asking ourselves questions like, do I exhibit presence? Is what I do on a daily basis in alignment to what it is I want to become? Do I actually know my values and who I am as a person? The seventh pillar in personal development is mentality. This encompasses things like mindset and attitude. Are you calm, cool, and collected? Are you mindful? Do you have a growth mindset? Are you level-headed and rational when people come at you with debates? Or are you the person that's quick to anger? Do you have a minimalist mindset where everything you do serves a purpose? This also includes things like staying in your lane and avoiding comparison, not to mention being proactive instead of reactive and operating under pressure flawlessly. And finally, do you have a sense of fearlessness about you? Do you go through your life without acknowledging limitations, especially those that are self-imposed? The eighth pillar is purpose. A lot of times people fail to find purpose because they're clinging to what they once were, to this person that they were in the past. They cling to these old wins because they hope that that same emotion will create new experiences that are similar to those that they've experienced in the past. To move forward, you have to stop reliving the glory days. You have to move past the old you. Once you leave this behind, you start to experience new doors opening all around you. The ninth pillar is growth and consistent challenge. Asking yourself, are you on a trajectory of continued growth? Do those around you support your growth? Are you constantly raising your standards and challenging yourself to become better? Challenging yourself by following a program around personal development or setting a goal. The 10th pillar in personal development is vibrancy and environment. Vibrancy includes things like health and fitness, the foods you eat, and exhibiting more presence. Your environment is simply what's around you. Does it allow you to foster more success? The 11th pillar is selflessness and selfishness. In order to be this great role model to other people and help others along the way, you have to become strong and stable yourself. So that requires you to be selfish at times to work on yourself. But when you choose to be selfish in that regard, always ask, how is this impacting others? Is this a negative or a positive impact? Your acts and your gestures mean more to other people than your achievements. Remember that time and thought is more valuable to people than material possessions. And when they speak to you, do you show empathy? And the 12th and final pillar of personal development is resiliency. Are you able to come back from defeat and find success? Do you find yourself getting knocked down and quitting? This is one of the most important parts of finding success in the long term. If you find yourself easily defeated, the road to success is going to be such a long one that you'll end up quitting. Finally, we've explained both parts of the path. We've explained the daily work and the pillars. Remember, the daily work is the micro part of this personal development plan, of the path. This is what we use on a daily basis to keep us on track towards who we want to become. The big picture view are the pillars. Here is where we look at where we fall short in life and what we can become better at to become more well-rounded. I hope you enjoy learning about the path, and let me know in the comments below if you get started. If you enjoy this content, please like the video, and if you want to see more content related to lifestyle development and a high performance mindset, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.